You had questions. Now let's see if we can find some answers. I'm Ceri the Crafter, that's C-E-R-I the Crafter, and as I said before, you had questions, and questions were about this. Now, a little while ago I did a review of this acrylic marker set. You came back with some questions in the comments that I couldn't answer, and they were also things I didn't think to cover when I did the review in the first place. So I thought, right, let's get on that, and this will be the final video, but I will work my way through as the questions that I've got and see if I can give you some suitable answers. So a couple of questions that came up straight away were things like, do they smear? How long do they last? Things I couldn't answer, like I can't tell you how long this pen is going to last because it depends on how often you make it, so how often you use it. Also, people click the links around the world. Some people thought the pens were expensive. Some people thought they were okay. Some thought they were inexpensive. One thing I would say is buying a set of pens or markers or paint pens, whatever you're buying, or even supplies, is relative to the value of what you're getting. Like, say this was £60 for this kit, and there's 60 markers in it. That means that marker is £1. Now, then you need to ask yourself, could I buy an equivalent for £1? That's how I sort of go about it. So I look at the value for money. Also, I did comment a lot in the other video where I said there were lots of colours that were very close to each other, like as you can see with the yellows and the creams here. And apparently, and I didn't see it on this box, but this is the anime set. Now, I thought it was anime when it was a cartoon, but it was manga or something like that when it was drawing. But it kind of makes sense because if you're doing anime illustrations, you would need all the close colours for shading. Anyway, that's put that one to sleep, I believe. So let's get on with one of the first questions. One of the first questions came in was, Ceri, can you use these on your gel plate? I don't know. I know you can use Sharpie markers on your gel plate. I know you can use Sharpie paint pens on your gel plate. I know you can use Poscas on your gel plate. I cannot see why you can't use these. Now, someone did point out these are called an acrylic marker, not a paint pen. So just be there. So I'm going to do the test for you. So what I did is I got a stencil, and what I did was cover this in acrylic paint. This is, I think it's called Neurospheres by Darcy Sanders, a designer for PM Artist Studio. So I put a layer of black acrylic paint on there. I put the stencil on top. I laid tissue on the top to pull all of the gubbins out of the middle, then lifted the stencil off so that I've got an outline. Okay, so this is dry and it is acrylic paint. There is nothing else on this plate because I wanted to give myself something I could actually work with. So these are brush tips. So I'm assuming, yes, you can paint quite nicely on them. I'm doing this first of all. Sorry, not the most accurate painter in the world. I'm doing this first of all because it's going to need time to dry before I try and lift this. As I said, I'm not the best at doing this sort of stuff because I'm looking through an iPad trying to do it at the same time as talking. So I think we'll put a couple of the colours down, or a few of the colours down, and then see what they look like. So I would normally, if I was doodling, I would probably draw. They do have a good amount of fluidity about them, these pens, which means that they will go onto the gel plate. I'm not sure whether I would need to let them dry and do another coat if I wanted a really solid block of colour, but they do seem to give me quite good coverage. Let's pull in a few others. So do some dots. Dots are easily done. This is not meant to be a work of art, guys. This is just me basically trying to find out whether they work on the gel plate. Now, they obviously look like they're working on a gel plate, but the thing will be, will they dry enough to be lifted off? Will they be picked up by paint? That's the question I think people are really asking. Now, because it's a brush tip, I'm not in any way damaging the surface of my gel plate. If it was a hard or a sharp tip, I probably wouldn't do this, but it's not. So let's just pull in some lines here. Let's get another color on the go. So I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to do some stuff. Right, let's just do some symbols down here. Let's do one more color. Actually, let's do the white. That would be interesting to me to see how white comes out on here. There were quite a few questions about the white pen, actually, which I'm going to address next, I believe. So it depends on how good you are at doing this sort of stuff as to what your results will be. I just wanted to put something down here so we can see whether they lift off again. So it's no good me turning this over because you're not really going to be able to see it because my plate's a bit stained. So I'm going to leave this dry to one side. It'll be one of the sort of halfway through this video, I'll put the backing on it, and then hopefully I will pull it by the time we're done. So let's address the white paint pen. I'm just putting these back in. These are supposed to be in a set order. I can guarantee I'm never going to keep them in a set order. Now, I was asked two things. Now, this has been done for well over a week now. It was done for the last review, so I know this is completely and totally dry. This is a piece of black cardstock, and I just wanted to see what the coverage is like with the white paint pen, with the white marker. Now, if you go to the website, Arrtx, if you search them on the internet, go to their website. I wasn't aware of how many different sorts of pens. They have dual tips, they have brush tips, they have chisel tips, they bullet tips. They've got so many art products out there. I was totally unaware of how far their company went. So pop over there and take a good look. Okay, it is kind of semi-transparent. It's not white, but that is the hardest challenge, to put it onto black. So let's put it onto something like this. So this is over itself, should we say. So if we put white over a dark color, you will see that it comes through. If I put it over a lighter color, however, it kind of disappears. It's not that brilliant white. So I'm going to make sure that dried. That looks like it's dried. If I give it a second coat, it does get whiter, but it doesn't go white. Okay, but it does give you matte coverage. Now, I was actually asked about the other colors as well. How do they fare over different colors? So let's just do a few squiggly lines. It seems to go over very well, to be honest with you. Let's just draw a dot on there. I think they're fine. I mean, even putting red over blue. Now, because of the semi-transparency, because it's over a block color, it's coming up purple-ish. So maybe it's a rule of thumb of you either go over it more than once when it's dry, or you accept that use lighter colors over lighter colors and darker colors over darker colors. Because if I pull the black out, and this one's still leaking. Sorry guys, 1 second. This is the only pen in the entire set that is having issues. And I don't know whether, I mean, the packaging, when it arrived, the packaging had a dink in it. it had obviously taken a bit of rough and tumbling journey, and I'm wondering whether that's why this one actually is leaking slightly. So the black is black. It will cover all of the rest. This does dry slightly lighter, as we're seeing here. So 2 coats will get you that. Let's see if I can get another coat on top of that again. It still seems weird not to have to shake a pen. Now, I can guarantee if I was doodling with these pens, I wouldn't come in and do 2 or 3 passes, and I don't know that it's improving it, to be honest with you. So that was the next question that came up. So the next question is about how do they fare when they're dry? Are they permanent? Again, don't know the answer to that one. So what I did is I'm going to test it with 3 different things. I'm going to use Mod Podge, just the matte one for me. I'm going to use Matte Gel Medium, which is this brand which I'm using, and then I'm going to use a satin varnish. Now, I've chosen these 3 things because if I've got a work of art and I want to seal it, I would normally brush one of these over the top. So that's why I'm choosing those. Now, these have been done a week ago. Okay, I thought in fairness to this product, let it completely dry and completely cure. However, here is a piece of paper, and I'm going to come in, and this is fresh. You're seeing it on screen. And I'm going to see how each of these fares. Now, I may not be picking up exactly the same colours as before. I will try and match them, but you can only get so much out of me, guys. You can only get so much out of me. Your comments I have heard and read, and some of you have loved these. Some of you have actually had problems with them in the past. And what you've said is they've arrived and some of them have been dried out. None of these have been dried out for me. I mean, every single one that I've used has been perfectly fine. Where's a brown colour I had? There you go. It's not a bad go, is it? Oh, that was another thing. I was told they are meant to be stacked this way up so that the acrylic paint always keeps the tip moist. If you store them on their side, the tip can dry out slightly. If you store them this way up, then you're just leaving an air pocket around the tip or the nib, and they could easily dry out. So that's just where that is. Right, let's give me a little bit of a pencil moment. So this is Mod Podge, varnish, matte medium. What is wrong with this pen? Pencil, sorry. Right. So now we're going to do a bit of a test on these, just because I personally want to know how they fare. Now that's going to have been sat for a couple of minutes. So what we're starting with just regular Mod Podge. I've tried to pull in brushes that are all the same brushes, so they're all the same firmness. I'm just going to come in. I'm going to brush onto this as if I was coating it. Right, as far as I'm concerned, there is no movement there that I can see off. Nothing is moving on there. So I would say once they've been sat a few days there, they're certainly set. Let's do the same with this. Right. There is movement, however, here. Now, I would say that in fairness to this, I wouldn't normally use a marker and then within a few minutes paint over the top. So knowing that Mod Podge, which is quite a fluid, will reactivate it when it's when it's freshly done, although the other one didn't. This greyish here is probably just me having a dirty paintbrush. So the next one is going to be varnish, right? This is the varnish I'm using. How do I get into this? Oh, it's a bit... There you go. Now, this varnish is quite fluid. Again, I would say there's no movement there. The only one that looks like it could potentially be something that moved would be the black, but I think you'd have to really work it. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't really work it if I was doing this. I'd come in quite quickly. Yeah, again, this is beginning to move. Only slightly, though. It's not moving as much as the Mod Podge did. Sorry, if you hear a noise, it's because I put my paintbrushes immediately into water, because I'm not going to ruin paintbrushes. Right, and the last one is matte gel medium. And this I use all of the time. I even use to glue stuff on top of it. So let's get some of this. I'd be surprised if this moved it, because it's not as wet. Yeah, not moving it. So there you go, guys. Mod Podge moved it when it was freshly done. Pretty much didn't move it when it was a week old. Acrylic varnish slightly moved the black, only slightly. Slightly again there. Matte medium, no problem at all. So just know that that's hopefully answered that question to whoever was asking that. So let's just move these out the way. And hopefully I can get on with doing the last bit, which is finishing the gel plate off. Now, okay, it's dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a coating of acrylic paint on here. Actually, I think I'm going to go with this one. What is this? Titan Green Pale, one of my favourites. So I'm going to put a thinnish coating on here. Well, a coating that I would normally put on. And hopefully, I mean, the black has been done for probably 4 hours now. Do you know what I mean? And I wanted that fully dried. And just see whether I can pick up with acrylic paint. And I've got a piece of, this is 250 GSM cardstock. So just spray this out. Yes, I was very surprised when I went to their website, and I do recommend you going to their website. Have a look around. They do everything from art books, sketchbooks. They have lots and lots of supplies is what I'm trying to get at. Let's quickly get this down because it's quite a dry day today here, and it's dry because it's flipping cold. I'm going to give that a good press down. Where's my battery gone? And make sure this is fully in contact with this. So again, would I recommend these? Yes, I kind of would. I mean, I'm going to be using them for my own artwork. I'm quite happy with them. These are questions that I didn't realise I should really have asked or tested in the first place. So going back to this. Now I just want to have a look at this red dot and see if I gave it another coat of red over the top, whether it would become more opaque. Yeah, you could build up the colour. I mean, I like the vibrancy of the colours. That was another thing I was really pleased at with these. So I'm going to have to wait now. I'm probably going to give this about 10 minutes and then I'm going to pull this off and then we'll see where we've got to with that. So bear with me, guys. I just need to pause the video and I'll be back. So it's been about 10 minutes and that's probably going to be enough to give us some kind of indication whether it does lift off and whether it stains the plate or not. So I'm just going to work my way along the top edge. It's obviously not staying on the plate, which is good. Yes, you can use it on the plate. There you go. So that answers the question to the person who wants to know. Yes, you can use it. I mean, if I'd used white as a pickup, they would have been more vibrant. But yes, you can definitely use it on the plate. It has left only the areas pretty much that were white. And if I take, this is a wet cloth, that's going to come off. There you go. So I'm not worried. It's not staining my plate. So hopefully, guys, that answered the questions. Does it move? We've worked that out. Does it cover black? Yes, it will. Not white though. It's not going to be white solid, but it will go onto black card. Does it cover itself? Yes, it does cover itself, but it's not as opaque when you're covering a different color, unless it's dark over light is going to probably work better than light over dark. Because if you see, that's the white over the green, it didn't work, but the black over the purple did. It's up to you how you do it. So at the end of the day, guys, I'm Ceri the Crafter. This was a bonus little video just as a follow-up. Hopefully it answered the questions in the comments. Take care, guys. I'm Ceri the Crafter. That's C-E-R-I, the Crafter. Until next time, goodbye now.